Welcome, everyone. All personnel is present, except Jake, of course. But he did send a better attorney than him tonight, as the attorney was explaining to me. I need approval of the agenda, but I need approval of the agenda with the addition of discuss, review, pay for 2025-26. We'll make that item F. I need to remove item F, enter into executive session, because Jake was not ready. I know he said to tell you to wait on us, didn't he? Wait on him. So F will become, Jody, discussion, review, pay for 2025-26. And any other changes you all see?
Removal of G and H, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Also move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Public comments, anyone? There are no public comments. Board members' comments. Ms. Becky?
Well, I was going to defer to our student board member, Landon, since he's our prom king, and I wanted to inquire about what he did on spring break, but since he's not here, Mr. Arvin, what did you do on spring break? Don't say work.
Spring break, I had an opportunity to spend 2 days in Chicago, so that was very nice. If you get to go, I highly recommend the boat tour, seeing some of those skyscrapers from the river below, and hearing some of the stories of the history of the town is very worthwhile. So.
Okay, that's all I have.
Ms. Manda?
No.
Ms. Ashley?
No.
Mr. Jones?
No, sir.
I'll reserve. Virtual education update, Miss Angela Lewis.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, giving you an update, we currently have 49 students in our virtual program, 42 from the high school, 7 from the middle school. I'm sorry, I'm standing in front of you all. I am very happy to say that we have 6 seniors who have completed all of their graduation requirements. I have one senior that chose to not walk to graduation and wanted to go ahead. We did a little private ceremony in the auditorium at the high school for him, and it was fantastic. Grandma and Dad were very excited to be able to watch him walk across the stage because they weren't sure that was ever going to happen, so they were very excited about that. I have 4 juniors who have finished finished for the year at this point. And I just found out today, we just got our end of program assessment results in that 4 of the 6 students who took the end of program assessment for their pathway have passed that and become transition ready. I have brought with me 3 fantastic young ladies in the program. I have 2 seniors, Miss Jamie Epperson and Miss Taylor Howe, and I have sophomore Alexia Williamson. And I think they might be a little nervous, but Alexia has decided to be their spokesperson. I think with her being in the 10th grade, they've designated her. The seniors kind of put something together that they wanted to share, and then she's just going to kind of read that, and then we'll answer any questions you have.
Good evening. We were asked to come today to share our experience with Gallatin virtual learning program. We have experienced this program for years, through this year has had a dramatic change since Ms. Lewis has became our director. I feel more informed as well as more a part of the school setting. Every week we have meetings on Fridays to discuss upcoming events, deadlines, tests, and field trips. Not only do we have weekly meetings, we also have a very involved director. Ms. Lewis is always quick to answer any questions or concerns we have. We are required to accomplish a certain amount of our classes weekly, depending on graduation requirements and our educational plan. If we are unable to get our work needed done, then Ms. Lewis is open and welcoming to allow us to use her office for space and help. Participating in the virtual learning academy allows us the setting we need to focus and produce our best students. We highly recommend this program for middle school through 12th grade students. that being said, thank you.
Thank you.
So I can tell you a couple of the things that I really wanted to focus on this year, and especially the seniors can attest to that, is communication with our virtual students, because it was pretty much non-existent. And I probably communicate with them more than they would like for me to, but they are well informed, I can say that. And just resources. These ladies and I have worked a lot on what are we gonna do post-secondary? No one wants to sit at home eating bonbons after they graduate, so what are we gonna do? We've done tons of college searching for the different things that they're interested in. Jamie is looking to go into the medical field. Taylor is more towards the vet animal area. And we have learned a lot about both of those areas. The scholarships that are available, schools that are available. They've taught me a lot about the different things. Taylor, hope it's okay. She just got accepted into a vet tech program, and I didn't even know this one existed. So we've learned a lot together this year.
So what's your in-person ratio as opposed to video, phone?
So right now, we are using all Edgenuity because I am not certified to teach anything other than business and marketing majors.
Okay, so they're all online.
So they are all online. I have set up some things with JCTC that I'm filtering some students through a dual credit program with them, especially my freshmen that have come in. They are starting to take a financial literacy course through JCTC, so they're getting that college credit early. We were able to, Jamie hadn't taken any dual credit yet. We were able to get her into some dual credit this year. Taylor's taken quite a few. They've done that through Racer Academy. We have a lot of dual credit opportunities. But again, that is all online. But the in-person part, I do meet with them every week. I have a set schedule. Every Friday, 9 o'clock is seniors, 9:30 is juniors. It goes all the way up to to my middle school students. We meet, we kind of touch base, we talk about what's getting ready to come up, what issues they have. If one of them's got an issue with something, more than likely a couple others will. We talk about the things that they have questions with. I'm always available if they need to do a different meet at a different time. And basically, the in-person is if they're not meeting the goals that they are required, then I'm giving them a call and they're gonna come in and work with me during the day, and so I can put my finger on them and make sure that they are working. We've had a lot of that, so.
So you have some that aren't being successful.
I have some that just aren't working. They're all working. Everyone's working. No one has just quit working on me. But I have some that aren't working as quickly as they should. And I bring them in and I watch them very closely. And I communicate with parents a lot with them, so. Because my job is to make them successful. And they might get upset with me. You know, they're going to have to come in here and work with me for a week or 2 weeks or however long it takes to get you caught up. But my job is to make them successful.
So is there any changes you wanna make for next year?
I have a lot of things that I would love to do with this program. One of the things that I want to change, and actually Taylor's kind of helped me with this a little bit with the animal, or the wildlife animal portion. We're going to do some guest speakers. So I've got some people that we're going to do some online guest speakers in their career fields that they're interested in. And through working with all grade levels, we're going to do some online clubs. The clubs, now I have several that play sports that are active in clubs at the high school and at the middle school, but we're going to do some online clubs that interest them. So I try to be sneaky with things and like, okay, well, what are you interested in? Kids are interested in manga right now, so let's do something with that. It's anime, but in form.
Thank you, I didn't know that.
Yeah, anime.
I was like,
So my goal is to do some things with them.
that's a whole other story.
Yeah, Becky, that's not a public meeting conversation.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. So my goal is to try to do some clubs on things that interest them, but have some elements of reading and maybe reflecting and, you know, things that they really would kind of like to do that will enhance their learning, but they're not really realizing that their learning is being enhanced.
Sorry I had so many questions.
Oh, no, you're
Oh,
fine.
no, you're fine. I was late
Actually,
anyway,
had one,
Becky, so
actually,
ask away.
refresh. Do they log on at certain times of the day to meet with you, or Like Google Classroom has their agenda, they have to complete
Well,
it.
each day they can log on at their leisure and work, as long as they're working each day and they're meeting their progress. Now, the Google Meets on Fridays, there are specific times, and they are set every Friday, and we are logging in every Friday. And that time, like I said, we have a set time, that way they can work, because a lot of them work.
Right,
You know,
that's
that's
what I was thinking.
one of the reasons why they're on a virtual program. So we have a set meeting time so that they know when, you know, to work around that for the year.
So you guys think that it's very successful, you love it?
What
think-
changes would you like to see?
To be honest, I'm not gonna complain.
I feel like Edgenuity sometimes has issues with itself. Like, I just had an issue with my computer. It wouldn't let me open up my class on Edgenuity, and about a year they fixed it. So,
The programming?
Always changing, yeah.
So are you always able to get in touch with your teachers and stuff? And
yeah.
they don't ignore you? They answer
Even if it's
emails
1
timely?
a.m.
No.
1 a.m.
No, we have an understanding that they can message me whenever they need something, because some of them do work all day and do their schoolwork at night.
You must
And
tell
they
her I owe
understand-
you for 2 dozen eggs. I stopped and got 2 dozen the other day.
Yeah, but they also understand that the next morning, I'll get that message, and the next morning is when I'll start working on that, and so that works well. At least I feel like it works well.
Y'all need farm fresh eggs. She runs a duck eggs, goose
Oh.
eggs, chicken eggs.
Not goose eggs,
Or-
just chicken and duck.
Sounded better with the goose in there. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you ever need farm fresh eggs, right there.
I'm sorry.
Ross Medical
Ross?
Education Center, it's all medical programs, veterinary, dentistry, nursing, like all of it. So,
And that's right up there in Erlanger. Yeah, my daughter went there for dental. It's like a 10-month program.
yeah, it's not long at all.
Yeah.
So, I start in July and then I'll be done in April, so it's not long at all.
Good job. So when are you out interested in
It goes in the business school.
nursing?
Always got at St. Wallace as a medical assistant.
Yeah.
So I'm-
And that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know Jamie won't toot her own horn, but she actually got accepted into NAVGO, St. Elizabeth's NAVGO healthcare camp
Congratulations.
program. So unfortunately, she then found out it was the day after prom, which was like from 8 to 5 or something like that. But, so she got to go and do that program and to do a lot with seeing a lot of things with St. Elizabeth in the healthcare world, so.
And they have lots of internship programs and you can do a lot at no cost.
Try to have double
Good job.
bills.
Thank you. Glad to hear it's going well. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Moving on, Mr. Landon Johnson is not here. Item 5B, 5C, Mr. Eddie Haskell.
You have the attendance report in front of you. It's ticked up over the last couple months, and then this month it dropped down a little bit. It's interesting because I spoke to a lower elementary attendance clerk today who said she's been bombarded this week with new enrollments. So I guess when I pulled the data, it was before all those were put in, so I would imagine that would go back up. No real big surprises on the data, kind of the normal classes, normal data. So, question?
How's your truancy and all that going?
It's going good. That could be part of the data going down too, because sometimes in order to avoid some problems with that, they pull out the homeschool. So it could be a reason for it. But our attendance clerks are doing a great job with making sure records are accurate and staying on top of things, and partnership with the county attorney to try to get them getting to school. Thank you.
Mr. Tony Jury, item 5D, CAO report.
I'll be brief. Next Tuesday night, we have the big night planned with ATC and the JCTC, the family night, where we're going to take people down there, and they'll spend an hour at the ATC, then an hour at JCTC, just learning about all the programs. We've sent out an invite. Families are booking that. We'll feed them before we take them. So looking forward to that. I think it's going to be, it's our attempt to bring families in. and to build some excitement. Related to that, plans are in motion for the college and career ready lab at the middle school. We're excited about that. Some of the estimates came back for the renovation work that we want to do much lower than I had intended, more closer to what Mr. Arvin had estimated. So that was good, and we're excited that'll start moving and shaking probably the day after students are done with the classroom. The counselor over there and I had a conversation today about how we're going to start scheduling those kids in there and making sure they looks like they're going to get 9 choices from the time they go from 6th to 8th grade. 9 of the 15 or 16 modules that are in there. So some of them, that's a good number, because you don't make me take cosmetology and barbering. You know, I don't want to take them all. So 9's a good chunk of that. So hopefully in the future, next year when we do this parent night at the ATC and JCTC, they had been through some of those modules, and we can say, hey, the next step for what you're learning is the ATC, or the next step is enrollment at JCTC, so we can start building that into a program. Another thing that Miss Lewis has been doing a great job with is our new teacher induction program. She's worked with OVEC, and they've had a number of training for our new teachers across the district. There's a KRS that says we do that. You know, we have to do that for first year and second year teachers now. So we're into the planning of the second year, and she has a great plan put together. Just the high school alone, we know we're going to have 7 new teachers over there out of, I think, 17. So that's going to become even more and more and more important as we move forward, making sure we're training our new staff and making sure they have what they need. We're discussing PD plans for the end of this year as well as over the summer and in the beginning of next year. So we want to make sure those are in line with our improvement plans. I did a day of SBDM training today, so I'll be putting together a plan on how to train SBDM councils this summer. Our new ESL person started this week. She's excited. She showed up at 45 minutes before we wanted her to, so she was here. She's ready to go. I wanted to follow up with her today, but I couldn't get over there. And other than that, we're getting ready for our KSA testing season. It's right around the corner. I think we start the second week in May. We'll start doing our KSA. And on that note, there's a lot of talk about Accountability 3.0 coming out. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's in the future, not next year, but the following year, just totally redoing how we talk about school accountability. There'll be state accountability, federal accountability, but a large portion of the accountability model is going to be shifted to the district for local control of accountability, to where we start talking about what do we want to see a Gallatin County graduate know and be able to do, or a Gallatin County 3rd grader or 4th grader. We set the standard and expectation. Of course, there'll be models out there.
I don't mean to interrupt
Yes.
you, but that does take effect, what, 26, 27, I think it is.
I think so. Yeah. I thought you were telling me my time's up. I'm good with
No,
that.
no,
I'm good.
that's a lot of information.
Oh,
Yeah.
keep
All
going,
right.
good stuff.
Okay. So, I really haven't. I followed that a little bit because they came out with 2.0 and 2.3 and 2.6, and now they're at 3.0. So I was waiting for them to get that finalized so we can really start talking about it. But I think it'll be a good thing for all of us to come together, the parents, the teachers, the students, the community, and decide what we want our students to know and be able to do at each level. And of course, the end goals when they graduate, what we want them to know and be able to do. The interesting thing is, at the federal and state level, the accountability will be consistent of reading and math. They're shifting science and social studies and some of these other things just to the local level. From what I understand, could be 3.5 will come out and it'll be different. But
From my understanding on it, Mr. Jury, they're gonna keep it in place for a while, but they are shifting. When I've been talking to people on it and been told, they are gonna shift control to the local districts.
it's good.
And then House Bill 421 that took effect March 31st, you gonna touch on it any?
No.
Are you gonna touch on it, Mr. Arvin?
We don't have that
I would
much time.
encourage all board members to read it. It's long, it's
What's this?
421, wasn't it?
I think 241.
241, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic.
So what's the topic?
A little bit of everything.
The 5 NTI days that,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
and then paragraph 2, got another bill shoved in under it.
We talked about it in our site-based training today, and I was going to do some following up. It's on my desk. Mr. Arvin gave it to us and said we need to read this.
Yes.
And I read it, so I'm going to reread it a couple more times
It's actually a
before I
pretty
start
decent
talking
bill.
about it.
There's just a lot in it, ain't there, Mr. Arvin, to go
A
through.
lot.
Can you forward that to us?
Yes.
That would be helpful for me to kind of find.
Did you
I'll
say-
get you guys
It's,
a copy.
there's a
before you
virtual
get out.
that's
education
great.
component to that too, right?
Yes, it's got everything in it.
So, year 2028, they're going to stop non-resident enrollment.
Maybe.
That's
They're
what it
gonna-
says.
Right, but if you read into that bill, I think they're gonna take, what, 3 years? 3 years, they're gonna come back, kind of like, because I was gonna bring it up too, you was talking about, have we got anything set up with Gateway yet? To where they're gonna,
We had that meeting. I don't think anybody's followed up since then. Nobody's contacted us.
okay,
It's,
I'll get the followed up and stuff, so we can get
Okay.
stuff set up with them
okay.
for next year too, to do tours and stuff up there.
I said they've got the lineman program set up
Yes.
there. Yeah.
What that is, what we're talking about there, Mr. Jury, Mr. Arvin, myself, Senator Williams, I just lost,
It's a good
We had-
opportunity
who
for
else was in
kids.
that meeting, who else was in that meeting?
Quarrels.
Yeah,
Ryan
Ryan
Yeah.
Quarles
And then his administration.
yeah, 2 people from
Yeah.
his, they're gonna allow us to send kids to Gateway.
Yeah.
And then what'd they say, 3 years, and that way it give them time to get stuff in law, because we're not the only district this is affecting, where they built new schools and stuff across Kentucky. You've got schools closer than us, from my understanding, that schools can't send to because that invisible wall.
Well, their thing, they tell us that we can't send a student to Gateway if JCTC offers the program. Well, JCTC offers the programs, but they're all on downtown campus, which is 65 miles of travel for our kiddos versus 26 miles of travel to the Gateway campus. So, once we brought that up, they agreed with us.
A lot of exciting
Yeah.
things happening over the next year or two.
We do have to have financial literacy course in place
Yes.
for our, I think next year's freshmen, before they graduate, they gotta have that financial literacy course. That's a new KRS.
Will that be a new position and a job description?
I don't think so. I think we can handle that with, yeah.
Did you say the parent night includes the middle school students?
Yes, the 7th and 8th grade. We're-
7th and 8th?
7th and 8th, we're,
And Becky, under one part of, I think it was 241, I'm pretty sure it was under that bill, they're supposed to come in and audit, like, what, 20% of, was that under 241 also?
Yeah, it was. Auditing 20% of, was it virtual programs?
Yes.
Every year?
Make sure that
Mhm.
it's truly working and stuff.
it did say 300 student contact hours a day
Yes,
per teacher. So Angie at 49.50 would have been her cap for
Yes.
one teacher to get 300 hours. So
that's something we're gonna need to, if we're gonna continue to add students to that program. And we've got over 50 full-time, we're gonna need to look at giving Angie some help over there.
Very good.
all right,
Thank you, Mr. Jury. Moving on, Superintendent's report, Mr. David Orban.
Found out today that a grant that Nurse Beatty wrote, we received or will receive. She was notified of it today, but the district will get 10 brand-new AEDs. So those brand new are about $2,500 a piece, so that's $25,000 that we will be receiving very soon for that. We have a lot of AEDs that are over 8 years old, so this gives us the ability to update those. They're going to be newer, and so that is fantastic news. We've got a fundraiser that was set up to be had, a car show coming up this weekend. It was going to be held down at the park. They're moving that to the high school campus just because of the flooding and everything that took place. Right before spring break on April 4th, we had a preschool art show, which was very neat. Kids were very excited. They came over before and brought us some papers that they had made and invited everybody to come over. And then over spring break, we had our first middle school track meet on the new track, and this Saturday we will be having our first high school meet hosted on the track. We're very excited about that, and as I mentioned to you all in the email, at some point in May we will be hosting the region track meet, which is very exciting. Be schools from all across the state. Didn't realize our track region stretches from central Kentucky all the way over to Berea down on 75. So it's a pretty big swath of schools, but they'll be coming here for the region meet. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to everybody, item 5S, SBDM agenda minutes. Everybody get a chance to look at those. Item 5G, human resource actions. Everybody get a chance to look at those. Next item on the agenda is item 6, consent agenda. I need to add to the consent agenda, football training camp request. He didn't get it in on time, and training camp's 3 days before the next meeting, so I'd like to add that also under the agenda to approve that. And then I need a motion to approve consent agenda, hearing no further discussion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Jones so moves.
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds. All in favor? All opposed? Item 7, recommend action of new business. Everybody get a chance to review all the contracts?
But are all those contracts the same as they were last year?
Yes, sir.
No changes.
Just-
I just think there was a whole.
Yeah, just anything new that we added, that you guys approved over the previous year, we added in. Anything that we are looking to remove or not to update, then, we took out. So,
I make a motion we approve the contracts.
Mr. Jones so moves.
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 7B, review approved updated calendar for 2024-2025. Also move.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 7C, discuss approve OVAC U of L teacher pre-apprenticeship agreement.
Yeah, do you look at this and see?
Yes, I have, there's no issues with it from a legal point of view.
Also move.
Ms. Becky so moves. I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 7D, review approved job descriptions and stipend for teacher apprentice mentors.
I move to approve.
Ms. Amanda so moves.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item 7E, review approved job description and wages for student workers and teachers apprenticeships. I'm gonna take a motion in a second, and I'm gonna discuss.
I move to approve.
Ms. Amanda moves.
Are we gonna stay on that?
That's
Or-
what we're gonna discuss. I need a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Jones seconds. On that, we had 725, 750, I think 775. If we truly want people to go into teaching programs and stuff, I would ask the board to take that to 1225, 1250, and 1275 for the pay, because yes, we're not paying benefits or anything on them, but we've got teachers' aides, I think they make 15 something an hour, and it'd be more of an incentive to get, if those children's gonna be in here student teaching and things, it'd be more of an incentive and more rewarding to them than sitting there looking at $7.25 an hour when they go out to McDonald's, make probably $15, $16 an hour. So I would ask the board to approve with the addition of the pay increases on that.
Do I need to
No, we can approve with
That amendment?
that, with those, knowing that that's what the pay is gonna be. That work for you, Jake?
Yeah. Both our attorneys go
That's
there.
just for the teacher, apprentice, student wages, not all
Right.
student wages.
That is correct.
Okay.
And the number was 1275?
1225, 1250, and 1275.
Okay.
It's got to increase by a quarter every year.
Call the question, or whatever it is you said.
Mr. Jones called the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next, item F, discuss review pay for 2025, 2026. Under this, I've got the motions wrote down. I'm gonna be making several recommendations and a lot of motions under this, so if any time that anyone has any discussion or question, please feel free to stop me, and here we go. Y'all ready? Under extracurricular salary schedule, cheerleading coaches, they do 3 different seasons. I moved to take the cheerleading coach to 5,000 and add an assistant coach for 2,500.
What is it currently?
What is it, like 26, 28, John?
I thought,
I
I
think it was
thought we were
22.
talking about, yeah.
I think he's got a bunch of things here
So,
for
but this isn't gonna happen till next year.
That's correct.
next year, yeah.
Starting next year.
So would it be better to have that in front of us laid out so we can look at it?
Yeah, we
Well, I mean,
can
what was
real
the-
quick. I can put it in front of you real quick.
Or I guess, can you tell us what it was and then what it's going
Yes,
to?
It was
It was 2250.
2250.
2250.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, him and I talked about it because where they do the 3 seasons,
Yeah,
instead of just the 1 season, to take it to 5,000 and then add 1 assistant for 2,500 on the extracurricular. And I think, looking at it and stuff, I don't see why we wouldn't, because we look at around us and stuff on the districts, and that's pretty much on that one because of what we're gonna do. I'm gonna recommend we do here in a little bit. That's why I said everybody just bear with me. There's gonna be a lot of motion, a lot of discussion down through here. So motion on the floor is to take the cheerleading coach to 5,000 and add the assistant position to 2,500.
Do we want to hear all of them, or we're going to vote on each one of them?
Go
as they
vote on
come, I
each one of
guess?
them. We're gonna have to vote on each one of them coming down through here, John.
Okay.
That's why I said we'll need to go and discuss.
Is this gonna be a lot of the extracurricular,
As,
or just,
as right now, this
Pay
one's for the
related.
cheerleading coach and stuff for that position.
okay, so it's only that one, we're not gonna talk about any other extracurricular?
Here in a second, we're gonna talk about, weight training coach. And then we're gonna get on into across the board increase and discuss what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna recommend on that. And when we do the across the board, that'll take care of, just bear with us for a minute.
so do we need a motion on each one of these? Like I moved to
Yes.
approve, okay, so I moved to.
I made the motion,
Oh,
I moved to approve that one.
okay, a second, or did
Okay.
John second?
Miss Amanda seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's true.
All opposed, same
Yep.
sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next motion to add a weightlifting training coach. It's $6,000 for, Mr. Auburn, you can talk on that one. You asked.
Yeah, just somebody to help coaches oversee weight training. You know, even just speaking with Mr. Jones, basketball was his area of expertise. Weight training, not exactly the same. And looking to find somebody that is something that they, you know, are really good at to help all of our teams out. This person would not be getting any other stipend. They would not be coaching another sport. This would solely be their responsibility. Now, that being said, we're not looking to just give that to anybody. That's going to be somebody that's got to have some qualification, credentialing, and experience to be able to justify that. But at least having that on the books gives us an opportunity to seek out an individual that can fill that role.
I'm an advocate of this. I think your typical coaches know about their sport. so much of sports anymore has got into your weightlifting is an equal part, and coaches don't know per se about weightlifting. So I think it'll be helpful to every sport, and I think it helps us on liability because now we've got one person in there that should be trained on what they're telling the kids to do. Versus, that was always one of my fears. I really had no clue. I
Right.
might read up on something, but I didn't know how to perfectly position you underneath a bar and do things of that nature. So, I mean, I think it's worth the money just for the liability's sake for ourselves. What do you think, Mr. Attorney?
I think even, forget liability, I think it'll reduce your injuries. And so when you have reduction in injuries, you know, it's gonna be a reduction of liability, reduction of claims, reduction of everything, but.
These are gonna be certified, correct?
I move to approve.
I'll say.
Ms. Amanda moves, Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Need a motion to accept a JAG grant for $40,000 and hire a certified person. Mr. Arvin, you want to speak on this?
Yeah, so we spoke with, this JAG is Jobs for America's Graduates. They have programs all across the state of Kentucky. Mr. Butler and I had an opportunity to speak with someone about it. They offer grants to local schools. The individual will work with students, freshmen through seniors, teaching them career skills. This is not meant for you just take your best students and put in there. They're meant to have, a wide swath of students from all across the school in these classes. Part of their time every day has to be spent building relationships and connections with local businesses so they can set up opportunities for students to be able to get out, build relationships and get connected with jobs, and do a lot of job training with students to be able to help them as they look to seek employment whenever they get through with high school. So, they had 2 spots left when we spoke with them. I asked them to give me a month to give me time to present this and potentially let you guys look at it. And for whatever that teacher salary is, they're going to pay $40,000 of it. And this is a reoccurring grant. And the gentleman told us in the meeting, he said, we're not worried about funding for this. If we were concerned, we would not be presenting and meeting. I think they added 13 additional spots across the state this year, and we've got an opportunity to be one of those.
Awesome. I'll move to approve.
Ms. Becky so moves, I'll second. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I need a motion to create a JAG position and just have the superintendent send out the job description to the board.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Jones so moves, I'll second. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Need a motion, I'm gonna make a motion to approve a 10,000 stipend for 6 through 12 math and science and K-12 special education. And we're gonna discuss this a little bit. I'll so move.
Can you re-say that?
re-say
6
that?
through 12?
What's the,
To approve a $10,000 stipend for 6 through 12 math and science and K through 12 special education.
so am I allowed to ask a question yet?
Yeah, as soon as we get a second, John, because we're gonna vote these up or down, so.
I'll second.
Ms. Becky seconds.
So when,
It's open for discussion, okay.
when you say stipend, basically this is
Here-
a stipend to attract people to apply.
Yes,
so
this is
we have
what
no
we-
time filling these spots.
Yeah, we kind of talked about recruitment stipends for these hard-to-fill positions. Special ed is obviously one. Math and science, 6 through 12, we've been light on for several years. And these are retainment bonuses, essentially, or stipends.
We don't
that-
give bonuses.
Yeah, not bonuses, stipends. that are payable on June 30th or the last, payable day of June. And we would obviously work with Jake to get language drafted that kind of lays that out. But basically, to get people recruited down a stipend for a period of 4 years.
So would they get 10,000 a year or 10,000 over the 4-year period that you're talking about?
Mr. Jones, way I'd like to do that, we've done, I talked about this, I think it was 3-4 years ago, Amanda or Becky. And my thing on it was a way to entice people to come into those jobs. The way I'm wanting to do it, and Jake, he looked at it for me once before to make sure we was legal on it. Stipend will be paid June 30th. If they work the first year, stipend's paid June 30th, they sign for the next year. If for some reason they don't complete the next year, we can legally go after them, from what Jake was telling me. We can legally go after them for that money back. If they complete the second year, they sign for coming into the third year, they'll get another 10,000 stipend. But in classes like, what was we looking at, like chemistry, science, whatever we're gonna call it there, we will be able to use them not only to teach in our school district, but Mr. Arvin has talked with districts around us where their students, they'll pay us $500-600 per student to be able to virtual in while our teacher is teaching, and they'll pay per student, and that'll offset the cost. I figured that it'd be more than enough, because what number did you have the last time as far as might be interested students, you remember?
I had several districts that said they would.
So even at, say,
Be
50,
Nobody can get a chemistry teacher.
yeah, say, so if we
And
say,
then calculus is about the same boat.
Yeah.
so if we're sitting there with these teachers, say they pay us $500-600 a student, even at 500, we get 60 students from other districts logging in. That generates us 30,000, and that more than offsets that stipend for the year.
So 10,000 a year.
Yes, ma'am, for 4
Per
years.
position.
What happens after the 4 years?
They can, if they're a new teacher and stuff, when they on their 5th year, when they get the step increase, then they will still be above that. It's just a way to try to entice new people to come in. After the 5th year, depending on how long the teacher's been doing it, they're gonna be well above that anyway with the pay increases and stuff that each year that they go up in years of service. It should offset in there by the 5th year. They should have got enough raises over here to offset that 10,000 by the 5th year.
You got like a $10,000 step built into the 5th year of the salary schedule?
Their
Depending on-
10-year years, pretty
Yeah,
good.
depends on
All right.
years of service and stuff. Our step increases, we probably got some of the best step increases in school districts. And it's just, I truly think that it's a way to get us chemistry teacher, like John said, some math teachers that can teach AP classes and stuff for us and close those gaps for us.
My thoughts are, what's the phrase? If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke, we gotta have to try something. And we've been broke on this for a while. It's hard to look people in the eye and tell them, yeah, we're going on year 4 where we haven't had a science teacher in the 8th grade. So I think we owe it to our kiddos to try something.
Yep.
So, and here's the
I'm
thing,
in
if it
favor.
don't work, we can scrap it.
Yeah.
At least I'd rather fail trying, well, I wouldn't even look at it as a failure. If it don't work, let's look, take a look at it and regroup.
Yeah.
Let's give it a couple years. If it don't work, let's regroup.
I think we gotta do something. Do we need to call the question now?
That's what-
Mr. Jones
Yeah.
called the question.
I'm like, what is it called? I'm trying to say it.
Mr. Jones called the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. I've got 2 more here. I'm gonna move a daily rate for summer school. For summer school, I'll make a motion to pay daily rate for summer school and use the middle building. And let them go ahead and shut the other 2 down. They can do everything in this middle building, got cafeteria in there. There's no reason, that way they can go, it won't interfere with them getting the buildings and maintenance and work done and stuff, if we just use this middle building out here. So my motion is to approve the daily rate for the summer school and use the middle building.
Talking about average daily rate.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't we do that anyway? We have-
The way it's set up right now, to do anything for summer school, it's paid at the ESS rate. And so what this gives us the ability to do is use that ESS money to pay that rate, and then we pick up anything over that to pay the teacher what they would make per hour working.
I moved to approve.
Yeah.
Second. Well, I think you already.
Yeah. Ms. Amanda seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The, approval, our parking lots and stuff, we need to get them sealed and striped. I'd like to be able to give the superintendent, set him up to take bids and things on them, and then go with the lowest or best bid when they come in. And him and I was talking about it earlier. I was wanting to do it all at one time to get it all done, but the cost of that, by just rough estimate, figuring and stuff, was gonna be between $130,000 and $150,000. So, well, John had mentioned to me, how about we do in sections, and me and Mr. Arvin was talking about earlier, to do maybe draw a straight line down this road between the high school and the middle school here. Do that section first 1 year, come back and do this section the next year, and then do that lower elementary the next year. So what I'd like to do is be able to, project I can start on, is take bids and get the approval from the board when the bids come in. We'll send the bids out to you all and just let them know the price of the bids and everything. And then give him the authority to, move on so we can get that done.
But we're gonna do it in 3 phases?
Yes.
Yes.
And then after we get that done with everything else, this district should look phenomenal.
Do you need a motion for all this? Or, I mean, we're not.
Yes, a
ready.
motion
So
to
good.
put out the bids, and then, what did okay, Becky, I'll move to let the superintendent solicit bids, and then to take the lowest or best bid on the project. Does that work?
You're not gonna review the bids and approve the bids as they come in?
We can set a bid date to open them,
Yeah.
just to come in and
But I'd
open
still
them.
put it on the consent agenda or something.
Okay. What Jake said. He's trying to hold us up on my price.
We're gonna review and approve the bids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, even if you just put it on your consent agenda, you need to approve
We
it
need
after
specs,
the bid date.
So you
Right.
can create specs, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Fuel bids, we received a fuel bid, I think Mr. Arvin said he got them in today, did you open them?
No, we've got them. I think we got one for, the fuel and one for propane, I believe.
They opened it, taped it back, give me 1 second here. Y'all could've just told us how much it was, we could've approved it real quick. Did you say we only got one?
Well, yeah,
We got to approve the bids to the agenda, so we're good.
fuel bids.
It's usually Bose, is whoever bids it.
Well, now, anybody read that?
That dude needs a new ink pen.
That's, here, let's reject that bid until he gets it cleaned up.
Yeah, I'd be guessing. I really
That's on the
would.
fuel, we'll reject that one until,
Anybody else wanna see it by mouth?
Yeah,
Reject
for-
it until we can read it.
yeah,
Yeah,
is this our propane?
So we only got one bid?
Yes.
That's about all we ever get down here, John.
No, hadn't opened it.
Propane bids from Feral Gas, says propane $1.54 1.545, so $1.54.5 per gallon delivered. This includes the tank. 4/14/25. Probation against conflict of interest is signed. I so moved to accept the propane bid at $1.54.5 a gallon delivered.
Second, it's the only one we got.
Delivered. I so moved. John seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carry 5-0. Now for the big one here. Y'all ready for this? Every year I make recommendations to the board. Last year we done the 5,000 for the 15 plus. Year before that, we went through every department. We pretty well got those closed up. What I'm gonna recommend to the board this year is a 10% increase across the board. It does not include the extracurricular salary schedule. And all paying positions, we froze for a 3-year period to be looked at each year for a stipend to be given. The 10% increase is gonna cost us around, including benefits and everything, around 1.385.
Billion.
Yes, ma'am. And but that includes, benefits, everything, and that should still leave us probably around
Close to
2.8 to 3 million contingency.
Yes.
So this is a 10% increase for this year or the 3?
It is 3 years.
3
Going
years.
forward, 10%
For
increase
next year.
across the board for each year going forward. That puts
10
us,
this year, 10 next year, 10 the next year.
yeah,
Okay,
across the
just
board
make sure I
means that it's
understood.
every year going forward.
I don't,
I mean,
the 10% is a forever increase
Yeah.
unless we vote for it. You're not saying we're gonna do a
Every year.
10%
Right.
this year,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
next year we're gonna do 10 above
No,
that.
no,
That's, yes.
I'm afraid we'd be
Yeah,
right.
that's not much to do.
10% across the board.
I wouldn't be up for that either.
Yeah.
For 1 year.
Yes,
For 1 year.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
And then
okay.
10%.
And then it's,
Yes, okay.
I'm
yeah,
glad we
going
got that
forward.
straightened out.
All those guys were calling their stockbrokers, they were getting ready to invest.
It is, well, it is.
But,
We're gonna
you know,
freeze it, but we're gonna reevaluate every year.
Yeah, yeah.
I could tell by the look on Tony Drew's face that we were saying something wrong. He was unwilling to look up and ruin a good thing. That's the look over there.
10%.
Look at it, that's a guilty look if I ever saw one right there.
Here, let me, 10% across the board. And it does not include stipends, excluding stipend. And then each year going forward, we will review it. Positions are froze, everything's froze at this point. I talked with Mr. Arvin about it. Mr. Jones and I spoke about it a little bit. Everything is froze at that point in time. He can't come and ask us for employees. He can't unless the numbers justify it.
Right.
And, for the next 3 years, each year, we will review it and make a decision whether we wanna do another stipend.
Yes.
Any further discussion on this?
I think my support of it, part of it is it makes us mega competitive with
Absolutely
Carroll.
it does.
Carroll County just done a 5% raise for their
Okay.
employees tonight,
So-
so for last year and this year, that puts.
No
them at
one
10.
in their right mind would leave simply for money to go
Right.
to one of our neighboring districts other than a Boone, Kenton, or Campbell, and they're just in a little bit different league than we are.
So Carol's 5% raise, 15% property tax, they're just nailing it.
They didn't do
Yeah,
the
I
15%
would
property
approve
tax.
your second or
Yeah, I
whatever
second.
you do.
But yeah, I just want everybody in here to understand that everything's froze going forward, and then we'll look at it once a year to see if maybe we wanna include a stipend.
Just so I'm clear, are we doing this for we approving this for 1 year, or we approving this for 3 years?
1 year.
1 year, okay. So this time next year, we'll be looking at it.
We'll reevaluate.
Everything is froze, and then we'll reevaluate.
All right.
So-
So you've
So
made the
question,
motion,
so,
Amanda's second.
one more question real quick. Once this 10% is given, they'll keep it for next year, right? We'll just
Yeah,
reevaluate
It
whether,
don't take effect till
Whether
next
you
year
go
anyway.
about that.
well,
So
no,
July
I
1st.
mean,
It stays on their salary.
that's,
Yeah.
that's, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure I understood.
Any other questions? No, I ain't selling us down the river, don't think that. Yeah. Mary Jane she done threw something
Call
at
a
me.
question.
Miss Amanda called the
She's been
question,
wanting to
all
say
in favor,
that all day.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 for the 10%. I made the motion, who seconded that? John? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, John seconds. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. Everybody get out of here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, thanks for your work on all this.
Can we get a heads up now?